Think about it. We're completely surrounded by interfaces, our screens, our keyboards, talking to our smart assistants. But what if the next big interface wasn't something you could see or touch at all? What if it was just your thoughts?
I mean, what if you could control your phone with just a thought? Seriously, imagine sending a text or scrolling through your feed, skipping a song, all without even moving a muscle. It sounds like pure sci-fi, right? The kind of thing we've seen in movies 100 times.
Well, here's the thing. That line between sci-fi and reality, it's getting really, really blurry. Because this isn't science fiction anymore. It's the very real world of brain-computer interfaces. And no, this isn't some far-off dream. It is happening right now, and it's about to change, well, pretty much everything.
Okay, so where did all this start? You might think gaming or some crazy new tech gadget, but the real story, the deepest roots of this tech, they're actually in medicine. It all began with a really powerful goal, to heal and to give back what was lost.
So let's break it down. What is a brain-computer interface, or BCI, anyway? Well, at its core, it's basically a direct communication pathway. It's a bridge between the electrical chatter happening in your brain and an external device, like a computer. It listens to your brain's electrical signals and translates them into commands. A direct line from your mind to a machine. No middleman.
And believe me, this didn't just pop up overnight. This has been a long time coming. The journey really starts way back in 1924, when Hans Berger first figured out how to record human brain activity. Now fast forward through, decades of research, big government pushes like the Brain Initiative in 2013, and here we are. The breakthroughs are just staggering. I mean, just last year we saw a paralyzed person communicate through an avatar using their thoughts. And today, right now, BCIs are helping stroke survivors recover and letting people control some seriously advanced prosthetics.
Okay, but how do they work? How do you build that bridge? Well, there are basically two main ways to do it. The first is non-invasive. Think of a cap you wear, kind of like a swim cap, studded with sensors. It's way safer, obviously, and easier to use. The catch? The signal is weaker because it has to pass through your skull. It's like trying to listen to a concert from outside the stadium. You get the gist, but it's muffled. Then you have the invasive approach. This is where tiny electrodes are actually implanted in the brain. Yeah, it's a much bigger deal with higher risks like surgery, but the signal you get, it's crystal clear. It's like having a microphone right on the 50-yard line.
And that signal precision, it matters a lot. Let me give you an example. One of the early successes used one of those non-invasive caps. It allowed people to type just by thinking, which is amazing. But the speed, they were getting about 17 characters per minute. So you can see the incredible potential right there, but also you can see just how far we still had to go.
But here's where the story takes a massive turn, because it's not just about healing anymore. The very same tech that was designed to restore what was lost is now being looked at to enhance us, to push past the normal limits of what it means to be human.
And just listen to this. This quote here, it isn't from some tech blogger or a science fiction novel. This is from the UK's Ministry of Defense. That's right. Governments, militaries, they are looking at this stuff and taking it very seriously. They see it as a total game changer, something that could literally redefine what a human being is capable of.
And we're not just talking about ideas on a whiteboard. This is already happening. In the military, they're exploring how to link a commander's brain to an AI to make decisions at lightning speed. Or how about in the classroom? Imagine a system that can tell when you're getting bored or confused, and then adapts the lesson for you in real time. There are even systems out there, like one called Slim Stampin', that can figure out the perfect moment to remind you of a fact, right before you forget it, helping you learn about 10% more in the same amount of time. Wild, right?
So, okay, this is where we have to take a step back, because things are about to get a little philosophical. Once you start merging the human mind with a machine, you run into some really, really deep questions. Like, what does it even mean to be you anymore? There's this quote from Nicholas G. Carr that just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. We already outsource a ton of our memory to our phones, right? I mean, when was the last time you actually memorized a new phone number? But what happens when that outsourcing isn't happening in your pocket, but directly in your head, when the machine is literally part of how you think?
Let that sink in for a second. If a memory that is fundamental to who you are, your first love, a childhood moment, is stored on a chip instead of in your brain, is it still your memory? What if someone copied that chip? Would there suddenly be two of you? I mean, where do you stop and the technology begin? It's a serious question. And guess what? There are no easy answers. Philosophers who are grappling with this stuff are basically saying we need something called metaphysical humility, which is a fancy way of saying, hey, we haven't figured out what makes a person after thousands of years of debate, so let's not pretend a piece of tech is going to give us a simple answer. We really need to tread carefully here.
Because here's the problem. While we're busy debating the philosophy, the tech is just plowing ahead. And that brings a whole new set of massive risks. We're talking about a new frontier, and we desperately need to start writing the rulebook for it.
And the stakes could not be higher. You think getting your email hacked is bad? Imagine brain hacking, where someone could literally access or even change your thoughts. Or what about neurological privacy? A world where your subconscious biases could be read like an open book. Then there's the social stuff. What happens when a cognitive upgrade costs $1 million? You could create a biological divide between the rich and the poor. And what about the pressure to keep up? Would you be forced to get an implant just to keep your job?
Now, you might be thinking, don't we already have rules for this stuff, like for AI? And we do, sort of. We've got things like the Asilomar AI principles. But the experts are all shouting from the rooftops that those rules are nowhere near enough. Neurotech is a whole different beast. It's not just about what a machine does, it's about what it does to us, to our very sense of self, our identity, our autonomy. It's personal in a way no technology has ever been before.
And this really highlights the challenge we're up against. Just look at how we're handling AI right now. It's a total mess globally. China doesn't have one big overarching law. South Korea is trying to classify AI by how risky it is. Everybody's doing their own thing. There is zero global consensus. So if we can't agree on rules for AI, how in the world are we going to regulate something as profoundly intimate as a brain-computer interface? Okay, so let's zoom all the way out. The big picture. Where is this all heading? Is this just another step in our technological journey, or is this something else entirely? Are we on the verge of fundamentally changing what it means to be human?
You've probably heard futurists talk about something called the technological singularity. It's this theoretical point in time where AI gets so smart that it starts improving itself faster and faster until you have this runaway explosion of intelligence that we can't even comprehend, let alone control. Well, what happens when you directly wire a human brain into that system? That could be a fast track to the singularity.
And some thinkers are taking it even further. They're arguing that this isn't just about new gadgets. They see the merging of human biology and artificial intelligence as a major evolutionary transition. We're talking about a leap on the scale of the invention of language, or even the development of DNA itself. Think about that. We're not just building a better hammer, we might be building a new kind of existence.
So it all comes down to this one final question. Are these brain-computer interfaces just the next step up from a keyboard, a faster, more direct tool? Or are we standing at the very beginning of a new chapter for humanity, a new kind of human? We don't have the answer. But what we do know is that the interface is disappearing, becoming invisible. And the scariest part? We might not even realize it when we've crossed the line from using the tool to becoming it.